indicates that Bitcoin confirms. After the historic day we experienced a few days ago, when Bitcoin confirmed that it is a safe haven asset, Bitcoin this week has confirmed it is a safe haven better than gold. We'll see that today. Qatar has halted the production of, how do you say it in Spanish? I can't remember right now. Natural gas. Liquefied. I don't know how to say it. Liquefied. Is that the Spanish word? Anyway, the LNG. They've halted production, and it takes 2 weeks to restart it. So, an impressive mess. And another impressive piece of news. The United States, Trump is forcing AI companies to build their own power plants. By the way, liquefied exactly. Thanks, Antonio. Incredible. Trump is forcing AI companies. Thanks, everyone. Impressive. So, let's go with Bitcoin's price, which is also impressive. And then we'll talk about all those topics. How they can affect so many things, energy prices. Anyway, let's also look at how to trade on Bybit. Liquefied gas, natural gas. Liquefied, I mean spectacular. What's happening is total, plus the exchanges. We're at such a historic moment. So spectacular that it's hard to take it all in. And the thing is that the exchanges now, we're at the most historic moment. Spectacular in history, where the blockchain is starting to absorb the traditional world. That is, the exchanges are already starting to experiment with the tokenization of the physical world. In different ways, call it however you want. With tokens, without tokens, through companies, but the crypto world is already warning us. It's going to absorb the traditional world at a speed that is incomprehensible. Because we're not talking about it being crypto, we're talking about it being crypto. Because AI cannot do it through the traditional world. Because it's too slow and it's made for humans. You have to be a human to trade in the traditional world, on Wall Street and all that. Bots can do it, but they have to go through companies with special accounts, etc. But AI agents are instantaneous. So it's going to be through the crypto world. This is spectacular because Coinbase. This is another piece of news I didn't have time to post. Because Coinbase is already on Wall Street. You can already buy Coinbase stock. Impressive what's happening. It's hard to take in the situation. But let's try to make as much money as we can now. But what's clear is that no matter what happens, whether Bitcoin has a spectacular crash right now to $62,000, no matter what, in my opinion, we should buy as much crypto as we can, no matter what. So let's look at the prices. Everyone is saying crypto is going up because BlackRock is buying. So be very careful because there could be news, I don't know if more spectacular than the Federal Reserve saying it has given a master account to Kraken. I mean, Kraken is a bank now. So the transition we're seeing is incredible. Because it's hard to imagine a world without banks. So let's see how the transition will be. But it's going to be massive because it won't be human. This is what's hard to understand, I think. That it will be AI agents. That will force the new economy, which is through crypto or something similar. For now, what they're going to use is crypto. Because it's the fastest to use. And in fact, they're already using it. The trading agents. So let's go with crypto. And look, gold has gone up 1.23% and Bitcoin has gone up 7%. So a lot of things are happening. And we'll have to try to process it. In fact, I think what we're going to do is for X, which you have below in the video description. The X of the Trans-Sin Money community. I think we're going to post nonstop on X. And then on Telegram or through the emails of the Trans-Sin Money community, we'll send a summary of the day with all the news and how they can affect different markets. Because humanly, there's no longer enough time to post everything that is happening. It's impressive. And if BlackRock is buying crypto like crazy, let's see. Why? Because maybe we already know that with AI, it's going to be from one day to the next, that the whole world will change and suddenly. Let's see what happens with crypto. Because we're only missing one thing. The tokenization of the physical world. When the tokenization of the physical world exists, the price of crypto goes out of sight. Because obviously, it will absorb all the markets, stocks, insurance, banks, central banks, governments, everything that is databases, to crypto, so it's going to be massive. Oh, another piece of news I haven't posted is that I don't know if it's Visa or MasterCard. That without saying anything is using Because it's cheaper to use the blockchain than their database system. Amazing, and we're seeing it. Where? Right here, we're seeing that. Something is happening. So let's calm down. And let's go with Bitcoin's price. So let's go to DeltaStrike. If you want to see DeltaStrike, you have it below in the video description. Also, DeltaStrike.vip. It's this right here, where we're going to introduce many new features and try to make the transition to the world of, I don't know what to call it, synthetic intelligence, or synthetic humans, or teams of synthetic humans, cities of synthetic intelligence. I don't know what to call it, but well, let's start because what Trump is saying is that AI companies will consume more energy than many countries, a single AI company. That's why he's forced them to now build their own nuclear centers. Well, there'll be nuclear centers, power, gas plants. What a moment. What a 2026 where science fiction movies started to become real. Anyway, let's go with Bitcoin's price. Because this is unbearable. I mean, what has happened has been very spectacular, because look, the volume hasn't been. There was an extraordinary resistance that they took out. I had never seen this before. They took out 2,200 Bitcoins in a single buy. It couldn't stop the price from going up. Yesterday, we had these two resistances, and they took out and 500. Spectacular what happened. At this resistance, there was a ton of money. So it's a strong breakout. It's a strong breakout. Well, with that said, let's clear the lines. And let's see what's coming now, because the order book is loaded today. The order book is loaded. Well, look at what we have here. We have 73, 74, 75. There we go, 73, 74, 75 with 400-something Bitcoins. If it breaks, I thought it was 72. But if it breaks 75, it's a historic moment. Not because of the price, but because of the amount of liquidity it takes out. Bitcoin is a safe haven asset. In fact, we can now say that Bitcoin is a safe haven asset. Because look at what it has done. It's impressive. During the war, what it did was go up. In 3 days, it went up 12%. You'll say, okay, that's not very spectacular. Well, it's not very spectacular, but considering it broke the upper resistance, I see it as quite spectacular. Are we going to have a correction? I think so. Is it going to be a retest? Probably. Let's go look for the retest. But the fact that it broke the resistance is spectacular. We posted it on X, and I think, when did we post this? 6 hours ago. If it broke the resistance, it's a historic moment, and it did break. And it broke. So, it's a historic moment. That, for me, is very significant because it means that now, Bitcoin is being used. In my opinion, people who are leaving Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Lebanon, Israel, everyone who is leaving these countries, I wonder how many have bought Bitcoin to be safer. Could this have been the reason that many people thought better to grab Bitcoins because I can't take it out of the bank or whatever, or I can't move the gold? But imagine if you're in a country near the war zone and you have gold or silver at home and you have to leave. Probably your mindset changes about gold and silver because you can't take it with you. Or you can take up to 100 with some margin. If you go to Spain or Europe, I think the maximum is, I don't know how much, 500 euros or $1,000 or 5,000. I don't know how much you can enter the country with now, without declaring. So what times we are living in. Anyway, let's look at the supports, resistances, and strategies. Well, we've already marked the top, and we don't forget 114 and 115, of course, if it reaches 114 and 115. That would be tremendously spectacular. Well, let's see now where we have the supports. Because surprisingly, we have an important support at 72, which is a 2% drop. And in fact, I see it above what the support would be, which I'd put more at 71. Well, it's above, so with a significant amount. 231 Bitcoins, $16 million. So they're trying to break the resistance. Or at minimum keep the price at these 73, 72. Then we have another at 72, so look, and 72 is at 2%, and then sorry is 71. This is the one I'd think would be normal at this support, 71, well no, above. 72 already has above, where this range zone has been created. Look how spectacular the order book is. It's marking the last range, where Bitcoin's price will go for the retest. Between 72 and 71. I find it incredible. The order book. What precision, right? So, then we have 67 with 300 Bitcoins, which is the next zone of important trading, this one here. We're on the 1 hour, right? Yes, in this whole zone. In the mid-range. Those 67.2. And the other probability zone is now, in the 68.6 in these two zones, and then the other zone is already a spectacular crash, 54,551. And look, they all have more than 200 Bitcoins. So we already have the picture. And then 114 and 115. We already have the picture. What's the picture? Look. What a spectacle. What the order book is telling us now are the probability zones, and I find it extraordinary that there's still so much money at 114 and 115. And in fact, 114 to 115 has appeared. 114 is new. So, it's very spectacular. Very, very spectacular. I'd say it's not 10K. Before it was 10K, but I'd say now. To enter Spain, they don't let you bring in 10K without paying taxes. I tried to buy a fridge in Spain, and they wouldn't let me buy it in cash. I don't know if you heard what I said, which I think is scary. It's not that the receipts of gold, the euro, the dollar, the Chinese yuan, all fiat currencies. It's not that the gold receipts, how to say it without breaking the internet or getting my channel taken down. It's not that the gold receipts momentarily don't work. It's not that the convertibility of gold receipts can't be used momentarily since 1971 or so. It's that you can't use as many as you want in Europe. It's not that you can't convert it to gold. It's not that they don't let you use the gold receipt, which is no longer a gold receipt momentarily. It's that you're limited to the amount you can use. That's really the last straw, isn't it? So, it's a bit. So, let's continue. I don't think so, Antonio. Actually, let's look it up. Because I think they've limited it. I think that's important to know. Because it's a super important freedom. Especially if you have to flee from some country. Let's look it up on Gemini. Because, where did you see that information? Maybe it's new, they changed it. Because the European Union forced them. Or maybe it's in Europe, right? Because I had understood it was less. Well, I could be wrong. That's true, you're right. Well, and you can declare it, right? And yes, you can carry gold up to $10,000. You can carry. You have to declare it, right? You have to declare. I guess you have to pay taxes. Well, not bad. What 10,000? How much is so want the channel? In English that we're now promoting. And well, that's it. Basically, you have all the links below in the video description. The Telegram, the Twitter. If you want to open an account on MEXC or BingX. In the end, we didn't do the liquidation thing, the gas thing. The thing is with gas, since I've never traded gas, I'm a bit lost there. And I don't know, they recently launched it on Bybit, since October. And the NGC, it's not NGC, it's LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. But it stayed, it's at support. So it's not that bad. I'm not going to enter it for now. Although it's interesting news for those of us who are new to liquefied gas, is that when they stop production of liquefied gas, restarting liquefied gas production apparently seems to take 2 weeks, and it seems that Qatar is one of the most important producers of liquefied gas in the world. Or at least, about 20% of the whole world comes from there. And obviously, probably, I'm not sure, but Europe is probably one of the biggest. So, we'll have to follow it closely. Because I also don't know exactly where the liquefied gas and oil pipelines go. But obviously they're one drone, one bomb away from being shut down. So we're in that uncertainty of what's going to happen. But the probabilities are very high. In fact, they've already bombed some oil tankers that passed without permission through the Strait of Hormuz. So, it's going to be interesting if the U.S. military will defend it or not. It's incredible because it's 30 kilometers and 20% of the world's oil and gas passes through here. This point is incredible. Very important. Let's see if the United States announces what they're going to do here. A strait to pass the oil tankers through here, because also, this zone is the one that defines that dollars must be used, because the agreement the United States reached with the Gulf Council or something like that. which is basically all these countries. Is that in exchange for all these countries forcing oil purchases in dollars, the US gives them protection, food, and water basically. So what is that other thing? All the water and food. From the, I don't know what it's called. GCC, something like that. Or something like that, right? What is this? Where does it say that? Well, it's basically what keeps the United States strong. Cooperation Council for Emirates. So basically, I think also, all these countries are the ones that force planet Earth to use dollars. Imagine if they switched to Bitcoin. That would be impressive, right? And 50% of the oil China consumes comes from this point too. So the implications of the Strait of Hormuz are very spectacular. Anyway, I don't know why I was saying this, but it could turn not only the energy market, but the financial market too, not for the energy part, but because the dollar loses a lot of value if these countries don't force it. These countries are the biggest sellers of dollars. Because to buy oil and gas, they force you to do it in dollars, not in Chinese yuan or whatever, or in gold or in Bitcoin. So this is the key point right now. It's going to be super interesting. We'll be watching. Those of you betting on liquefied gas, congratulations. If you manage to get in there. I'm not getting into it for now. In oil, I have placed an order. I don't know where I have it, but I did place an order for oil. And on MEXC, it's 0% fees. Oil and perpetual futures. Hey, I don't have it placed. Hadn't I placed one around here? Oh crap, that one I removed was the oil one.